one thing you didn't say.
What is it?
I'm a fraud.
You're a fraud.
I'm a fraud. I'll explain what I mean. By traditional, mainstream, orthodox psychology, I am a fraud. I am only as pleasant, smart, creative as my environment. For many years, until I was about 30, I thought that I was, had a secret, that I was fooling everybody. I was fooling everybody. That someday it was going to be revealed. Somehow people would find out that I wasn't really, really smart. It just appeared that way. And somewhere in my 30s, for complex reasons of seeing the world in a new way, I realized that the only person I was fooling was myself. And that I was fooling myself because of the impact of the culture of psychology in the United States, which says that you have to do things on your own. That you are an isolated individual and that whatever you happen to do in the world comes from inside you. It was an amazingly valuable lesson, and since then, I have devoted my life to helping support people to continue to grow and develop by creating environments that meet their needs. Because the environment and environment just doesn't impact on you. You're inseparable from it. Raise your hand if you have ever not been in an environment. You can't. Even before you knew it. The womb is an environment. So we don't exist separate from them. And me and the environment are now pals. We hang around all the time, and I know that I perform differently in different environments. So I work to create supportive ones. And in particular, I feel like I have to do that because so many of the environments that we live in are not supportive of our own growth and development, not supportive of people giving as full expression as possible to their creativity.
Lois, I think the mic is on.
It is? It's okay?
Yeah,
Good.
it's okay.
Okay.
Should we turn up the volume? Is that a way to do it? Yeah? Can everybody hear at the back? Yeah? No?
Yes, no?
Slow? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to try to talk in the voice that I will. Can you hear me better? No? All right, I'll try to talk even louder. Or we're going to fix something. Closer to the mic. Okay. Is this better? Okay. I will keep my mouth almost on it. It feels weird.
Sorry.
It's all right. All right. Raise your hand if you were once a baby. If you were a baby. That's good. It's a relief. You all are babies. Raise your hand if you learned to speak a language when you were a baby. Any language. Is there anyone who didn't raise your hand? Okay. Raise your hand if you learned English as your first language. Spanish, Korean, Bengali. Help me out, everybody. Portuguese. Yes. French. Hebrew. Or shout out the language that you learned first.
Arabic.
Anyone else? Yeah. Albanian? Indian. Greek. Great. Well, why didn't we all learn the same language? We're all different, yeah.
Different countries.
Different countries,
Different environments.
different environments,
Culture maybe?
different cultures, yep. So we, I assume, all wound up speaking as our first language, the language that was spoken around us.
Yeah.
So a kind of boring, passive way to look at that is there's this, little baby, can't do anything, just make some sounds, cry, eat, so on, and all this babble's going on around him or her, and what happens is you start imitating the sounds that are in the language, and gradually you learn that's what you wind up speaking. The thing is, we're anything but passive in that situation. All of us were very active in creating ourselves as a speaker of whatever language it is. We were active. We were active in large part because our family allowed us to be active. Anyone have children? Now? Okay. And all of us were. So let's see if we can use our experiences, personal experiences, to see if we can grasp somewhat sensuously what I'm talking about. So we were supported to be active in a very particular way. There's these people who are bigger than us and older than us, and they take care of us when we're very, very little, and they talk. And very curiously, they talk to us. They know we don't understand what they're talking about. What? Yeah. I mean, they know it in the sense that a 2-month-old doesn't have language and doesn't understand language. No, the child doesn't know that. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. The adults and the older brothers and sisters, well, let's just stick with the adults for the moment. They know that we, as 2-month-old, 4-month-old, 8-month-old, 10-month-old, 12-month-old, babies don't understand the language, and they talk to us anyway as if we do. And they allow us to, in quotes, speak back to them with the funny sounds we make. Baba, mama. And they respond to us as if we're speaking the language that they speak. They don't say, that's not how to talk. They don't give us a book and say, read this and don't talk until you learn what's in it, the grammar book. They allow us to use language that, in a way, comes from Vygotsky and is very dear to my work. They allow us to perform as a speaker of the language, to perform as a speaker of Portuguese, to perform as a speaker of Albanian, to perform as a speaker of French before we know how to do it. And that's how we learn how to do it. By being allowed to make mistakes. By being allowed to, if you will, be who we're becoming. We're becoming speakers. We're not there yet. But parents relate to babies and children as both who they are, a baby who can't speak, and who they're becoming at the very same time. So I think that accounts in huge measure for how come, before we get to school, we are fantastic learners. We learn qualitatively, we learn a huge amount, and we learn very, very fast. Get to school, and for many, many people, slows down. When we're home, and that's a great, great variety of home environments, we learn as part of living. We don't learn for a test. We don't have this separate part of the day for learning. We learn as part of who we are as people living and creating our lives. And we do that in such a way that what we're actually doing all day long is playing. Think of infants and babies. Think of 2-year-olds. The games that mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and grandparents play, these little language games. Baby says, "Mama, mama," and mama says, "Oh, that's a lady. That's not your mama." And that baby might say, "Mama, not mama." Or, "Baba, oh, you want your bottle? Here's your bottle." All those things, all day long that goes on. It's helpful to think of them as playing with language. And by playing, that's how the child learns. Vygotsky says that in play, a child acts as if, or performs as if, a head taller. It's where we can stretch in play. So I'm an advocate for play from 0 to the age of 104. Probably 5, but I just picked that one out of the blue. And a great critic I am of schools because they don't allow us to play.